In this first problem, we are asked to simplify this expression, and the order of operations says that we need to simplify what is inside the parentheses first. Now, in order to add fractions, we need to have a common denominator, and 8 and 3 each go into 24, so we're going to put each of these over 24 and then add. And I'm going to bring down the times 3/4 here as we do so. Now in this first fraction, which had been over 8, the denominator got multiplied by 3, so the numerator gets multiplied by 3 also, and 9 becomes 27. Likewise, in the second fraction, to go from 1 over 3 into something over 24, the denominator is getting multiplied by 8. 3 times 8 is 24, so 1 times 8 makes 8. Subtracting inside the parentheses, we get 19 over the common denominator of 24, which then gets multiplied by the 3/4 out front. Now we could just multiply straight across, but since 3 goes into 24, it is more convenient to cancel on this diagonal. When you're canceling fractions, you can only cancel across a multiplication sign, not addition, subtraction, or division either. So we do this, we multiply across, and we get 19 over 32, which is the simplified value of that expression. Continuing on, we look for parentheses, and we don't see any. We move on to exponents, and we do see exponents. So let's start by simplifying this 3 squared. That represents 3 times itself twice, or 3 times 3, which is 9. And I'm going to bring down the square root of 16 and the 2. Now technically the square root of 16 falls into the exponent category, so we're going to do that next. We're not going to talk about why, we're going to save that for another course. We're going to now have 9 plus 4 times 2. As far as the order of operations is concerned, addition is not important as multiplication, and so the multiplication gets done first. 4 times 2 is equal to 8, and so we have 9 plus 8, which is equal to 17, and that is the simplified value of this expression. In this next problem, we definitely have parentheses. We have both a bracketed parentheses and a rounded parentheses. And so we're going to start inside the innermost parentheses, and we have subtraction and multiplication, and we do the multiplication first, which will give us 35. Now I'm going to bring everything else down around it. 48 minus 13 times 3 plus bracket 50 minus this 35, then, whoops, that was in parentheses, plus 2 close bracket. Still working within the parentheses, we want to do that subtraction. 35 from 50 gives us 15. So we now have 48 minus 13 times 3 plus 15 plus 2 inside that bracket. Now working inside the bracket, we're going to get 17, and essentially we've used up the bracket. There's nothing else to be done in there, so I'm just going to drop it off. We have 48 minus 13 times 3 plus 17. All we have left is subtraction, multiplication, and addition, and multiplication is more important, so we're going to do it first. 13 times 3 is equal to 39. 48 minus 39 plus 17 is all that's left. And since addition and subtraction are equally important, we will begin from the left and work our way over to the right. Subtracting 48 minus 39, we get 9, plus the 17, which we bring down, which gives us an answer of 26. Let's move on to this next problem. Again, we have nested parentheses. At the left, we're going to do the 6 minus 4 inside that parentheses. And on the right part, which is separated by this plus sign, I'm going to do this 8 minus 3 first. So here we go, moving down to the next line. We're going to have 4 squared times 2, which is the answer to 6 minus 4, divided by 8, plus 7 times 5, which is the answer to 8 minus 3. We're still going to work inside each of these brackets, which is our parentheses, and inside the first one I see an exponent. So we're going to do that on this first pass through the problem. That will give us 16, because 4 times itself is 16, times 2 divided by 8 within the first bracket, plus 7 times 5. Now I really could do that multiplication now, but I'm kind of waiting till the next phase when we do multiplication on this next step. In the first parentheses, we have multiplication and division, which are equally important, and since the multiplication shows up first, that's the one we're going to do first, and now we'll do this 7 times 5 at the right. So on the left we have 16 times 2, which is 32, divided by 8, and then plus on the right 35. Doing the division, we get 4 plus the 35, which comes down, which gives us a final value of 39.